Tactics. This is getting down to the nitty-gritty of what we do. So today is intended to provide a bit of a framework for your approach. Today we're doing 5 steps and 5 exercises. Okay, so put on some lippy or whatever you do to get ready. This is where it starts. So, why communicate? This is a nice little personal example. No, it's not me. Has anyone sent a text message that's got it wrong? I think this person has. Okay, so obviously communication's important in our personal life. Can everyone read this? I hope no one's offended by nasty language. Do you need me to act it out? No. But I'm going to show you an example of a quite serious issue and how it was addressed and why communication is really important.
Earlier today I addressed the media and through them the Australian public about ongoing investigations into a group of officers and NCOs whose conduct, if proven, has not only brought the Australian Army into disrepute, but has let down every one of you and all of those whose past service has won the respect of our nation. There are limits to how much I can tell you because the investigations into this network by both the New South Wales Police and the ADF Investigative Service are ongoing. But evidence collected to date has identified a group of men within our ranks who have allegedly produced highly inappropriate material, demeaning women, and distributed it across the internet and Defence's email networks. If this is true, then the actions of these members are in direct contravention to every value the Australian Army stands for. By now, I assume you know my attitude to this type of conduct. I have stated categorically many times that the Army has to be an inclusive organisation in which every soldier, man and woman, is able to reach their full potential and is encouraged to do so. Those who think that it is okay to behave in a way that demeans or exploits their colleagues have no place in this Army. Our service has been engaged in continuous operations since 1999 and in its longest war ever in Afghanistan. On all operations, female soldiers and officers have proven themselves worthy of the best traditions of the Australian Army. They are vital to us maintaining our capability now and into the future. If that does not suit you, then get out. You may find another employer where your attitude and behaviour is acceptable, but I doubt it. The same goes for those who think that toughness is built on humiliating others. Every one of us is responsible for the culture and reputation of our Army and the environment in which we work. If you become aware of any individual degrading another, then show moral courage and take a stand against it. No one has ever explained to me how the exploitation or degradation of others enhances capability or honours the traditions of the Australian Army. I will be ruthless in ridding the Army of people who cannot live up to its values, and I need every one of you to support me in achieving this. The standard you walk past is the standard you accept. That goes for all of us, but especially those who by their rank have a leadership role. If we are a great national institution, if we care about the legacy left to us by those who have served before us, if we care about the legacy we leave to those who, in turn, will protect and secure Australia, then it is up to us to make a difference. If you're not up to it, find something else to do with your life. There is no place for you amongst this band of brothers and sisters.
Okay. So that was a pretty somber way to start the day. I'm someone who likes to talk to people during my presentation, so I'd just like you to call out any impressions of that particular talk. This was released on YouTube by the Australian Army. Any thoughts initially?
Well, it was a brilliant piece of communication because it's, by putting it out on YouTube, it means the whole world can see it. But it's not an official response, it's a heartfelt, as well as having the official response because he's the chief, he's also the heartfelt, I'm really angry and this is going to stop. It's a personal communication.
Yeah. Did anyone have an emotional response when they were watching that?
Did seem perhaps like he'd already made up his mind about an ongoing investigation, which I thought maybe would be better to wait.
Yeah, so it left us wondering a bit about the facts.
Oh, it was pretty damn clear, wasn't it?
Yeah. So what about his presentation
I
style?
thought it was pretty scary, actually.
Yeah.
He was serious, that's what it came across like.
Yeah.
He did a really good job in all those communications.
What about the way he used the terms I and you? He was quite direct. You're wasting your life. The reason I chose to show this example, and I know you're not in that field, is because to me it exemplifies effective communication. This has actually been used worldwide as an example of clear and concise communication. Yes, he speaks well, but he's also understanding of who his audience is, which is exactly what we're talking about today. And that's the last little serious bit for today, okay? Because we're talking about matchmaking. All right, front row. I want to see. Okay. So matching your message to your audience is critical to any interaction, whether it's personal, you want to check you're sending your text to the right person and saying the right thing, or professional when you're doing a worldwide video for the army. Effective communication can not only help us avoid disaster, but build positive relationships. And this is why we're choosing the matchmaking metaphor, because what I want you to do is start to think about your audience as a relationship, okay? It might seem a little strange at first because we're used to the us and them mentality. I create things, you see things. I do stuff, you hear about it. But that's not what we're about today. So the first question is, how well do you engage your audience and how can you do it better? I don't know how well these guys are doing, but let's hope it improves from there. So firstly, we need to start to think about who our audience is. And it's a really overused term. Depending on if you're in marketing or PR, people can misinterpret it or interpret it in different ways. So it could be client, could be the media, it could be someone else altogether, it could be the person sitting right next to you. So, don't mess with the donkey. What? What's she talking about? This isn't nonsense. This is basically about knowing that you can't please everyone all the time, and it's really important to prioritise who your audience is. So here we have this poor fella. You guys have probably all seen this before. He tries riding on the donkey with his wife. He tries getting the wife off the donkey. He tries both doing something else. But basically, you can't please everyone all the time. You need to decide what's a priority for you. That means focus. Okay. You can have many stakeholders. Does anyone know what a stakeholder is?
Someone that has a particular interest in that activity, maybe commercial or otherwise.
Yeah. Any other ideas on stakeholders?
Somebody that's going to have a relationship with you of some sort.
Yeah. So it's anyone who interacts with your organisation or your business. So a stakeholder could be a supplier. It could be someone who you provide product to. It could be a government organisation who regulates what you do. They're people who have a stake in what you do. But your audience, your primary audience, is the person who makes or breaks whether your goals are fulfilled. Does that make sense at this point? Yeah? So if you sell books, and that's your business, you need to make money from selling books. If no one buys your books, then your business is going to go bust. That means the people who buy books are your primary audience. This seems really basic, I know, but it's really important to start thinking about what your goals are and why your audience is important to that. Okay, so now for the matchmaking. Firstly, we're going to do a little exercise in getting to know each other. Most of you have a general or a specific idea of who your audience is already, am I right? Just nod at me. Yeah, cool. Okay, so we know if they're old or young, female, male, we sort of know who's buying our product, visiting our organisation, interacting with us. But what we want to know is, do you really know the audience? Do you use the information you have about them? And do they know you, the person, the producer, whatever you're doing? Okay, I am your guinea pig. La la. Also, worst Photoshopper in history. See this? I didn't even take out this little stock file thing. I don't even know what it's called. There we go. Okay, this is the 411 on me. I am a single white female, don't be scared, front row people. Was that a little close? I'm born and raised in Canberra, graduated, top 10%, blah, blah, blah. I like karaoke. You're lucky you're not getting a little treat for karaoke right now. I don't like the smell of mushrooms. I don't like earwax, especially visible earwax. Why am I telling you all this? This is basic demographic information plus just a little bit more. And what I want you to start to do is interpret it. So the first part of interpretation is, what are your assumptions? So you know a little bit about me. What are you assuming about my buying behaviour based on that information? And based on those assumptions, how would you sell your product to me? Okay, so the point is, research is a helpful first step. We can narrow it down a little bit. You might be right off track though, okay? So, to go back to our metaphor, which you guys are going to learn to love, matchmaking, you've read the dating ad, so you know a little bit about what's going on, but what's next?